Yo, what's happening, people? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host, Yan. I do hope you lot are all doing well today, man. I really do hope that. Welcome back to Chelsea News. And today, there's the story of Willian, the Brazilian, to Arsenal. Yep, it's happened. Comunicado oficial, or whatever they say. What does this mean? Who's getting a good deal out of this? Could it be everyone? 32-year-old Willian. 7 years at Chelsea, his contract has expired, he's made a free transfer. But is there such thing as a free transfer to the Gooners, the north side of London? What does that mean? I'm hearing a lot of money, up to £35 million. Is this a good look for Arsenal because they've laid off 55 Arsenal employees? Ugh. I mean, they do need to sign players. Arteta is a seemingly very good coach. He needs to reinforce his ideas. Anyway, I want to dig into this today, talk about my feelings on Willian, the general feelings on Willian, what Arsenal can expect from their new, probably left winger, and are they mad to give a 32-year-old a 3-year deal on incredible wages? We're going to dive into that. Quick reminder to you guys to subscribe to this channel, Football Therapy, if you enjoy daily Chelsea Football Club content. That's right, every single day, please do consider subscribing, and if you want to help me out, what you do, that's super kind of you, mate. Please do drop a like on this video. Awesome. Let's get into it. So yeah, it's one of those like worst kept secrets in football, Willian going to Arsenal. For a long while there, it looks like he may be going to Tottenham, Jose Mourinho's Tottenham. I think Willian pretty much was open to either, provided he got a decent length contract and good money, because really, he just wanted to stay in London and, you know, keep up good wages. Willian's agent confirmed that he had loads of interest, and that does not surprise me as a free transfer, most notably also from Inter Miami, David Beckham's MLS team, who would offer him the most money, essentially. That Hollywood American move. But he wants to hang out with his homie David Luiz, and he is gone to Arsenal. He signed on a 3-year deal with not wages, on a package that reportedly rises to £220,000 per week. Now, it's important we all realise that this is such a big fee because he is on a free transfer. He's entitled to a signing on fee amount which generally massively beefs up whatever you end up earning per week. People break it down per week, and that's where the £220,000 per week figure comes from. But ultimately, that is what Arsenal are forking out for Willian. Now, let's talk about the Chelsea side of things. Frank Lampard wanted to keep him, and I can understand why. He was like the benchmark for work ethic this season that's just ended for Chelsea. Loads of running, obviously quite a senior player, very talented as well. But the truth is, man, going into next season, there's very strong odds Willian himself won't be a starter. We've just purchased Hakim Ziyech, 27-year-old in his prime, absolutely worldy player, you know, sweet left foot, 5 years younger than Willian. Even if Willian played a few games at first, the likelihood is he'd be phased out relatively quickly. Now, personally, I could have kept Willian for another season happily. He would have been the perfect senior figure to help Chelsea in their transition with their new signings. But if Willian was a starter for the entirety of next season, I would personally be frustrated because we've got Pulisic, Ziyech, Hudson-Odoi, possibly Havertz, Mason Mount can play on the flank, and potentially a new winger as well. So that would have frustrated me knowing Willian would have been a starter for the entirety of next season. But when you reflect on that feeling and the fact how Willian wanted a 3-year deal, damn, pretty darn unrealistic. Chelsea even offered him a 2-year deal, which I, as a pretty level-headed Chelsea fan who actually likes Willian quite a lot, I think that would probably have been too much considering where Chelsea are, his age, and what we're transitioning into a new era. So you get it. I understand why Frank Lampard would have liked him around for a little bit longer, but the truth is, we could have never have given him what he wanted. I think Willian pretty much accepted that quite quickly and then, you know, came to the conclusion that he's going to have to move on. Now, he deserves respect because he played very well for the entirety of the season, Willian, and he was respectful and hardworking towards Chelsea. He deserves respect for that, and anyone who abuses him, it's pretty unfair, man. He's been a decent servant for 7 years at the club. Granted, not an amazing goal scorer or anything, but he's been a hard worker and he's won a bunch of trophies with Chelsea. So, he's going to Arsenal. Now, I don't want to talk about this recent situation with Arsenal laying off players, because it is a delicate situation to tiptoe around. You know, Ozil's involved with denying pay cuts or whatever, and that. But the truth and the fact of the matter is, I want to look at it from a footballing perspective. Mikel Arteta, he's a new coach. I think he's actually quite good, and he will need to bring players in. All coaches do. You know, Frank Lampard finally gets the opportunity to do that himself, and I think he sees an opportunity in Willian to have a senior player to pretty much do what he did for Chelsea this season, because Arsenal have a bunch of youngsters. He can run up and down pretty hard and basically show the kids the work ethic, and also have that little bit of quality that works well in the Premier League. So with that, it probably suits Arsenal quite a lot. We know absolutely who this move suits the most. It's Willian himself, because he gets a 3-year deal. He's going to be 35 years old or thereabouts on 220k a week in the Premier League, which is like, he's done a blinder there, isn't he? But the thing is, Arsenal, they might be frustrated with what they've done here down the line. They've obviously looked at it and they've calculated that they can do it. But one thing they can bet their bottom dollar is they won't have an Ozil situation with Willian. I think Arteta's looked at Willian and been like, well, he's always going to run, he's always going to press, and he's going to defend as a winger, even at his age. Perhaps you don't get any of that with Ozil, so he doesn't suit the Arteta model. Willian does. The thing is, man, he's 32 now. He's gonna slow down now onwards. That's just the matter of fact. People need to accept that. Even if he keeps up his good form from this season, scores a few goals next season. I'm trying to look for like an unbiased, non-Chelsea perspective here, but he's just not going to be value for like goals, maybe even assists. He will be a valuable asset in terms of creativity, work ethic, seniority, and being a good example for the younger Arsenal players. But if I was an Arsenal fan, probably I'd feel pretty disappointed in terms of the long-term commitment that Arsenal have given Willian here. Is that going to block other players? I don't know. Does Willian strengthen Arsenal? Yes, of course he does. In a team that was, you know, lacking strength and mentality before Arteta came in, he's done an excellent job in my opinion. Granted, they weren't great in the league, they had bad results, they couldn't hold on to leads, but generally what he was trying to instill in the Arsenal team is something that they've so sorely lacked for a while now. So if he's bringing that mentality and work ethic from Willian, I think that pretty much is a priority at the moment for Mikel Arteta. And if they have a front three of, I guess, Pepe, Willian and Aubameyang, it's pretty decent. Like, you know, Aubameyang's elite, but he's in 31, going on 32 as well. So they really need to get good now, Arsenal. That's probably what Mikel Arteta's aim is here. But I can see Aubameyang score. Even if Aubameyang drops off, he's still going to be excellent. Even if he loses a few goals, a couple of goals per season in his new contract, he's still worth the money because he's scoring all those. There's still a lot of goals. Ultimately, Willian's being bought for a starter. Make no mistake. On that money, there'll be something in his agreements, his terms, and all that kind of stuff in his contract. He will absolutely be a starter. So I don't know, does Bukayo Saka get dropped to the bench? Because let's not forget, ladies and gentlemen, they spent £72 million on Nicola Pepe, who had more appearances than Willian? Did he have more appearances than Willian? Possibly more minutes, less goals, less assists than Willian. Granted, it's his first season or whatever, fair enough, but those two wingers for me don't inspire massive confidence in comparison to the elite level of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang up front. Still, it's box office narrative, isn't it? It is exciting in many ways, especially if you're not a Chelsea fan or an Arsenal fan, just to sit back and just see what happens either way. Does he hit the ground running at Arsenal, have a good season? But even so, that doesn't necessarily justify 3 years of contract, because he probably would have been pretty good for Chelsea for one more season. Do you know what I mean? Does he get put on corners at Arsenal and start hitting the first man? Does he break down attacks? Does he score less than 6 goals a season? Does that matter? Is that what Mikel Arteta is even looking for? Probably not. Maybe not, man. He knows that he's got goals galore from Aubameyang, and maybe he's expecting more goals from the likes of other players in midfield. Maybe he just wants a workhorse on the wing and he sees that opportunity in Willian. I don't know, man, but I'm really keen to get everyone's thoughts and opinions. The saga is done, the story is ended, the narrative has concluded. we move on to the next season. We see what he does at Arsenal. We see how he plays against Chelsea in an Arsenal shirt. What do you think about it, man? Get down in the comment section below. Generally, express yourself. How do you think he'll do at Arsenal? Do you think they've made a massive mistake? Do you think it's a good move for them? Do you think it's a bit of a somewhere in between? Express yourself down in the comment section below. If you've enjoyed this video, me expressing myself and Willian, drop a like on this video. Also, a quick moment to plug my second channel, Yan's Yard, where I might talk about this later if I do a show. I'm doing live streams at 6 or 8 p.m. most days, just talking about football generally, so do subscribe to Yan's Yard. I'll leave a link to that channel in the top of the description. Other than that, look after yourselves, enjoy the football, and I'll see you later.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought. Body bag the verse, outlined in chalk. In my life seen trouble, hustle on the double. Silence on the trigger like my pick got a muzzle. Yo chick like to guzzle, bad boy stay in trouble. I only love this paper, sorry I don't. I laugh me, baby.